I love this country, man. I love everything about it. I just don't like the fact that our government are so easily bought. This was so easily conquered by a foreign lobby. Like,
Welcome to another episode of the Olive Roots podcast. I'm your host, Chose Ayub. Today I have a dear brother and a dear friend. He's known as Abu Tuz on social media. His name is Yazied Assad. Yazied,
Salaam alaikum.
wa alaikum assalam, brother. How you doing?
Alhamdulillah, brother. You?
Good, man. You're a little bit under the weather, huh?
Yeah, man. I got my sugar water. I had my cough drops, and I just woke up. I just woke up with the sinus headache.
Oh, wow. So just started today.
Yeah, out of
Oh,
all
man.
days, right?
Yeah, well, I'll be praying for your healing, brother, man. I know how it is.
Thank you, brother.
Make sure you get some juices, some tea, some all the Palestinian remedies.
Man, I'm about to drink a whole bottle of olive oil. See, like if that would help. I mean, it used to help back in the day, but I don't know about now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. You got to get the good stuff, bro.
Give me, give me the olive oil. Give me the zayzatoon. Give me all that, bro. Give me the zayzatoon, the dukkha, the sumac. Mix it all in the
Oh,
blender. Just drink it.
so Yazid, where are you located?
And Brooklyn, New York.
Brooklyn in the house.
Brooklyn
Yeah.
all day, every day.
Well, I'm in the dirty South. I'm in Georgia, man. So
Oh,
East
nice.
Coast, but a couple of states away from you.
Yeah.
All right,
So
Yazid,
how's
man.
the weather there, though? Is it
It's
still hot or?
Today is hot, but it was cold last week. This is the fake winter right now.
Oh, yeah, man. It's been raining and sunny here and cold, and that's why they call him Mother Nature. It's confused, like it's bipolar. They don't
Yeah,
know if it's hot, happy. You know,
that's very true, man. Well,
cut that part.
no, it's all good, Yazid. Thank you for joining us today, man. It's a pleasure having you today on the show. What I would like you to do is first start with your identity. So tell the audience where are you from, what's your ethnic background, where your family from, where were you born, just a little bit about your whole identity and your roots, man. So the stage is yours.
Well, my name is Yazid. People know me as Abu Tuz. I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York. My parents are from Palestine, Al-Quds. And, I come from a family with 10 siblings. We were all born and raised in Brooklyn. And alhamdulillah, I even though I was born and raised in Brooklyn, I've never forgotten my roots because my parents, they always reminded us every single day, don't forget, Entak Falastini, Entak Falastini, don't, don't forget. So growing up, I will always tell people I'm a Palestinian-American. And growing up, a lot of people didn't know what that was. They're like, what is Palestine? What is Palestine? I never really heard it because let's face the fact, they always tried to erase us since 1948. They kept trying to erase our identity, but it was our parents who kept reminding us, you're Palestini, and Palestini. Don't forget that. So I want to give it to our parents for constantly reminding us because if we took the words of the Americans when they say, oh, there's no Palestine. And then kids would easily say, oh, we don't exist. Our nation doesn't exist. We're American. But it was our parents that constantly reminded us every day, Etak Palestini. Don't forget. Don't listen to what anyone says. You're Palestini.
Yeah, man. Palestinian, as a Palestinian that came to the US, when I say Palestinian, they didn't know. I say Palestine, they think Pakistan. And I'm like, no, I'm not Pakistani, bro. I'm Palestinian. And they're like, where's that? I was like, where's Jesus from? And they're like, Israel. I was like, oh, no. I said Palestinian. I'm not Jewish. And it's always been a struggle. So tell me a little bit about your family. What do you know about them? how did they end up in the US? And how many of your brothers were born here or born back home? Like, what's the story like?
Well, all 10 of us were born and raised in Brooklyn. All ten children. Right? My father and mother, they were from the goods, but my father decided to leave Palestine and go, you know, go make a life of his own. He was only 14 years old when he went to Venezuela. Then he also went to Colombia. And from Colombia, he went to America, and in America he was working all these like these odd jobs. He was sleeping behind the grocery store where he was working at. And then my father joined. He joined the military. That's how he got his citizen, basically. So, and my father also married a lady from America who also helped him get the green card. Then when he finally got it, he went back to Palestine, and that's where he saw my mother. He fell in love with my mother. He married her, brought her to America. And then, alhamdulillah, they raised 10 children.
Wow. So where
Wow.
was your mom from in Palestine?
How? My mother and father, they were from Bet Hanina.
Beit Hanina. Okay, that's close to where I was raised, man, because I was in Dahit al Barid, which is very close to Beit Hanina. It's like 3 minutes away. So, okay. So there's a lot of Palestinians here from Beit Hanina. A lot of them went to the US or South America. Okay, so your dad went to Venezuela, then to Colombia, then
Yeah,
came to the United States, worked crazy jobs, odd jobs, hard jobs, labor jobs.
everything from selling fake watches on the streets, from sleeping behind the grocery store where he was working at. So if you want to look at the American dream, I look at my father as a definition of the American dream. My father came to America with basically the clothes on his back. He worked, he saved up, he saved up enough money to open up his own store. Then from his store, he bought real estate, and alhamdulillah, like he taught his kids how to work and save. Because my father always told us, you work now, you play later. You play now, you work later. So that stayed with us. My father worked his entire childhood until he got to a point where he was relaxed enough to retire and just watch his kids grow.
Wow, so your dad wanted a better life for him and his future family.
Yes.
Left Palestine because of the occupation and the lack of opportunities as a Palestinian living under the Israeli regime. So came here, hustled, grinded. It sounds like similar story to a lot of immigrants that came here back in the day to look for a better life, contribute to American society, and raise a family within a place that at least they can be more free than back home.
Yeah.
So that's beautiful, man. So okay, so then your dad gets his citizenship. So he was in the army. Was he in the military, like the American army?
He was in the Navy, like he was working on a Navy ship, but he was also working at the docks. So basically he was just doing so many things at once. Like my mother used to tell me stories where he would leave for like 2 weeks just to just to make a few dollars. And my mother was pregnant with her first child. And she would tell me that he would leave, come back days days later with just a few dollars. And with those few dollars, like $10, but $10 back then was like $100 now, I think. So what my mother would do with that $10, she would put away like $5, and then the other $5 that's for like the rent and the food and all. So basically, that's what my mother was doing. So my mother was helping him save up so they could get a bigger place, because it was my mother, my father, and my mother was pregnant, and they were sleeping on one couch.
Wow, in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
And I know the cost of living in New York overall is up there.
yeah.
Yeah, it's always been. All right, so your dad was in the Navy. It's interesting because my cousins, they're Palestinian Americans. They served in the Marines and they got sent to Iraq.
Wow.
And that was interesting for them to say the least, to have to go there not knowing what they're doing there. And obviously, we know now they were sent for fake, news about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq set by Milkowski, aka Netanyahu. And he caused America to go to war in Iraq, killing millions of Iraqis and American soldiers dying for the Zionist state. And when my cousins were there, they couldn't understand, especially being Palestinian American, being Arabs, why are we there? And since they spoke Arabic and Iraqis speak Arabic, even though some of them speak in a different dialect, yeah, it was just like conflict of like their brain was at conflict. Obviously, they're still serving America, but why are we in Iraq when Iraq is so far away from America, Now we
Yeah.
know what was going on. So, did your dad serve in the Navy for like 2, 4, 5 years? Do you know how long he was there and any
I
stories?
really don't know. Like, I know that my father was not in battle, but he was working like the kitchen and all. So, like I say, he was working also working on the docks. Basically, like, when the ships come in, he'll like unload them, load them. I don't think he did that for a long period of time because my father ended up opening up a grocery store. So my father would stay at that grocery store from opening to close 7 days a week. So basically, my older brothers that were born, you know, they remember seeing my father very little, right? Because my father would wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, go and open up his grocery store, come home around 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night, and the kids were sleeping. My father did that for 7 days.
Yeah, man, the work ethic of Palestinians and other West Asian countries, I don't like to call us Middle Eastern because they created that term. But
Yeah,
the work ethic is like no other, man. My dad pretty much also would wake up at 5, leave the house at 6:30, come back at 8 p.m. And I'll see him sometimes I don't. So I remember it was my mother mostly raising us, and my dad is just paying the bills, putting food on the table, very traditional cultural family. But
yes,
my mom was doing most of the discipline and the education and the clothes and washing, cleaning, feeding, and my dad just out working, bringing money, man. That's how I was
yeah,
raised. Sounds just
yeah.
like you.
Like it doesn't matter. Like, we are culturally the same. Like, we might be religiously different, but culturally, Palestinian Muslims, Palestinian Christians, we're all the same. We're raised the same, culturally the same. That's why when they try to divide us by the religious the religious ways, it gets me pissed off. Like, don't look at the religion, look at the cultural. We are culturally the same.
Yeah, I mean, we're both Palestinian. Our ancestors
Yeah,
are from the land. My DNA proves it. Most of my
yeah,
DNA is from there, not 100%, but who is 100%? I mean, there's so many people that walked in and out of that land through history and biblical times. So you don't think they got mixed up here and there? Of course they did. Like who is pure in America today? Nobody, you know?
nobody is. But
Nobody
we're
is.
pure, but Palestinians are.
Yeah, yeah. So okay, let's transition. Speaking of how they divide us by religion, tell the audience a little bit about your faith journey. What faith were you raised in? Were you practicing, not practicing? Did you struggle with God, with your faith? Did you have any resistance? And where are you today with the faith?
Growing up in Brooklyn, New York, especially during the '90s, I didn't have a lot of like Arab friends. All of my closest friends were Puerto Rican, Irish, Italian, black, and I've had this one Arab friend is my cousin Ziggy. We were like the closest. you know. So yeah, grow, growing up in the '90s in Brooklyn, you sort of kind of drift away from your faith, but it's still there. It's still there. Like you will follow some ways of the faith. Like we weren't drinking, we weren't eating pork, we weren't doing drugs, right? But we weren't praying either, you know. But we followed the Islamic law to a limit where we weren't praying. Yeah, we'll go pray on Friday, but we weren't praying daily, 5 times a day, because we were outside hanging out. We were doing what teenagers do. We were doing what kids do. We would go out, play sports, hang out until my mother walks into the park. Good damn me to the house right now. That was like every day. You know, and because of that, for a while, my friends called me Yama. Yama for a while. Why did they call me Yama? Because we used to hang out in the park, and then my mother used to walk in, and then I used to be like, Yama, stop, Yama, you're like embarrassing me. So when we were hanging out in the park, and my friends saw my mother, they walk into the park, they were like, yo, Yama, Yama, Yama. So so then
So
it,
to the
yeah,
audience, Yumma Mama is mother, pretty much. That's so
yeah.
funny, bro.
So for a while, my friends called me Yama. Hey, yo, Yama, Yama, because it was always, yo, Yama, Yama is here. And then I would hide like underneath the park bench, like behind the tree. And my mother used to come in and be like, where is my son? Where is my son? And then she'll find me and get even more mad because I was hiding. And then she'll tell my friends, my son is Muslim boy. He no American boy. All right. He is Muslim boy.
He's
So
he's like, Mom, I'm Muslim and American. Like,
yeah. But my mother will always remind me it took Muslim. It
mm,
took Muslim. Don't forget. Well, like you don't understand. You can hide from me, but you never hide from Allah. Allah sees everything. That's why Allah showed me you are hiding behind the park, behind the tree, or underneath the bench. So growing
she
up
got
in
like a direct line with God. It's just like, where's my
yeah,
son? He's like, he's
basically,
right there. Okay, thank you.
and me being young and gullible, I would believe everything, everything. So I used to be like, if I do this, Allah is going to tell my mother, and I'm going to get caught. Like I'm going to get caught. So basically, like growing up in a Muslim household, yeah, my parents were strict because they came to America with the country mentality. Okay. Because if you look at the kids now, if you look at the children now, they were raised by parents who were born and raised in America. So they have that lineage, like, yes, they're American born and raised, but they still have that slight culture from the country. You and I, we were raised by parents straight from the country. So we had it harder than the youngins now. Like, that's how I said when I was being raised as a Muslim here. I was raised by parents that were straight from the country that were kind of strict. That if you don't listen to them, you're gonna get beaten with every single object they can have their hands on, that they lay their hands on. I'm talking about any object, no matter what it is, sticks, belts, the cat, the dog, pots, whatever. They're gonna beat you with it. All right.
That sounds like my mom, man, because I think it's a Palestinian and Arab culture thing. Like they discipline, man. It's kind of like, most Hispanics. I see a similar trend. They discipline, man. They check you, they put you in your place, they beat you up. Chanclas,
Yeah.
the flip flop, the shoe, and the kundara, the
Yes.
babouche.
Yes. But those are perceived. But like I said, us, we had it different because our parents came straight from the country with that country mentality. The kids now are being raised by parents who are born and raised in America, so they have that American slash country culture mentality. Like, so it's mixed. So basically, they're more into let me talk to him first. If he doesn't listen, then we will discipline him. Us, it was discipline first and then talk.
Yeah, it was backwards. I actually
Yeah.
like a perfect balance. Obviously, we didn't have a choice back
Oh
then.
no.
And if I look back to it, I'm like, I wish they came to talk first.
Yeah.
But they did it. They're just like, beat you up. And then after they beat you up, they're like, why did you do that? You're like, you're
Or
already
they'll beat
crying.
you. Or they'll beat you and talk to you at the same time. They're like, why did you do that? Talk to me. Talk to me. What? I don't want to hear crying. I want to hear, why did you do it? Like,
Yeah, yeah, man. Discipline was big, was big. Yeah, like me, man, my parents, I come from an interfaith, multi-faith family. I got Muslims and Christians in my family. My dad was not religious at all. Um, he's almost like agnostic in a way, you know. He believes in God, but he doesn't believe in anything really. So that was my dad, and my mom was very devout, you know, a follower of Christ, and she dabbled with Islam and Christianity, and then she went to the Orthodox Church, the Catholic Church, and my dad was Muslim, but he did not practice. He didn't come from that foundation at all. And I think his sisters now, as they got older, they became more religious. But then some of them become religious in a way that it's not healthy. You know, when people become extremely religious, that they're like, it becomes like, I don't want to call it hateful, but just kind of like, I'm right, you're wrong, and you know what I mean. I don't like that. I believe in
yeah, the
respecting
Haram
other people.
police also.
Yeah, the haram
Haram
police.
police. Can I just show you something quick? I made this shirt because I have a tattoo. I have a tattoo on my chest. All right. So I made a video, right? And I showed my tattoo, and these Muslims came at me. Brother, you are not going to go to Jannah with that tattoo. Brother, they will not let you in Jannah with that tattoo. Please remove it. Please remove it. So then I made a shirt to now I wear this sometimes. Haram police. Okay.
Bro, this is epic.
So I'm like, bro, you want me to remove it? Like, yeah, I'm like, okay, then go pay for it. Like, it gets wild. Like, I got my tattoo when I was living in Tokyo, right? And there's no excuse because I should have known. All right, I should have known not to get it. But at that moment, when I was in Tokyo, there isn't any religion there, really. Like, so basically, you're like just living a life in Tokyo. There's no Christianity. There's no Islam. There's no Judaism. It's just Buddhists and just basically Buddhists, right? So as I'm living there, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go get a tattoo. Like, I felt myself slowly, slowly moving further away from my faith. You know, so I had to catch myself basically because in that country, you could easily fade away from your faith easily because there's no religion, there's nothing religious going on there. People just live their life and they have fun.
Tell me more about Tokyo. So you lived in Tokyo. When did you move there? How long were you there? And tell me more about the culture, the faith, and everything else, because I don't know much.
Well, I lived in Nagasaki. I was 10 minutes away from ground zero where America dropped the bomb. 10 minutes away from ground zero. It's called the Peace Park. And living there the first 2 years was like amazing. Like, oh my God. 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Like, I loved it there. And you and others know that my daughter is half Japanese, right? So now that's when it hits because she's in a Buddhist dominant country, right? So it was really hard to show my daughter the faith while she lives there. She lives there with her mother because I had to move back to America, and her mother didn't want to move here. So the right thing I did was have my daughter be raised by her mother because you can't take your daughter away from her mother, not when she's young. No way. When my daughter is old enough to make her own decisions, if she wants to move here with me, my door is always open. All right, but living there, okay, it was just a free life, a free, stressless life. Like it was impossible to be stressed out there. Maybe during the rainy season when there's nothing to do and it just rains every day, all day, then yeah, you're depressed because you can't do anything. But overall, it's a very stressless country. Like people are not angry. People don't argue. You'll be lucky if you do see an argument. I like it was just very chill place.
Hmm. You know, the Buddhist faith is pretty peaceful, right?
Yeah,
When you think about it. And when you go to their temples, if you've ever been, it's pretty
yeah, I've
peaceful.
been there.
Yeah, you can meditate, you can nap, you can pray. You don't have to be in front of their statue, but you know what I mean. Because there's peace in every place, that it's the peace you carry in you, right? So, what made you go to Japan? How did you meet your wife? And why did you end up
Ex-wife.
ex-wife, yeah, ex-wife. And why did you move back? Give me a little bit of more information.
Like what was supposed to be a 3-week vacation ended up turning into a 10-year vacation. I went there, and I was like, I just I loved it there. And I was like, you know what? On my on my visa it says three months. All right. So I was like, you know what? Let me just say the 3 months. And then in those 3 months, I met someone, and this person kept telling me, "Why don't you stay? Why don't you stay? You could get a job here." I was like, you know what? Let me try it out. So I ended up getting a job as an American, a non-Japanese speaker. At the moment, the only job you could get is being an English teacher. So I got the job as an English teacher, and oh my God, the expectation of these parents. Like, I had a parent of a 5-year-old come up to me and say, "Can you teach him the Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do song?" I'm like, I don't even know that song. But like, I'm sorry, but your 5-year-old don't even know how to wipe his ass right yet, and you want me to teach him a song? You want me to teach him a Do Re Mi Fa Sol La Ti Do song? And some other lady was like, "Can you play the piano?" I was like, "No." She goes, "Oh, because I want him to learn Beethoven." I'm like, "This is an English speaking school, like to learn English." Like the expectation, like they expect their children at 6 years old to have a full blown English conversation, and I'm like, listen, I'm gonna teach them the basics, colors, numbers, the ABCs, how to pronounce the letters, apple, b, book, like that. Like teach them the basics, but no, but these parents are sitting there and they're watching the lesson. They're like, "Can you teach him the do re mi fa sol la ti do?" I'm like, listen, I haven't sang that song since kindergarten. Basically, like I don't even know the words to that song.
They're trying to make you teach more than just English.
Basically, yeah, yeah. I mean, they want their kids by the age of 10 to have like a high school level English. Like it's impossible, especially because these kids they come to school, they're learning English, but once they leave school, they're not speaking English anymore. They're talking Japanese with their friends. So basically, it's going to be hard for them to learn it. For you to learn English is basically the way I learned Japanese. Yeah, I was taking lessons, but then I would go outside and I would communicate with people in in Japanese. These kids, they're coming in, they're learning English, and then once they leave the class, they're speaking Japanese. So basically, they forget everything. So that the expectation level of these parents was just way too high. But then again, I was teaching English for 2 years, and then I went to this other this other this English company called Seiyu, and then from there I went to another English company called Playday. So basically, all I was doing out there was teaching English. I was playing football, and I was training in MMA. I was teaching my daughter English, man. But then again, my like I was talking to my daughter in English all day at home. But when she's in school, all she speaks is Japanese.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't use it, you lose it, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, like if I want to learn a language, I want to speak it outside the class and outside the house. And I think that's why a lot of kids in America that have immigrant parents, like my friend is Korean, his parents are from Korea. He doesn't speak Korean, but he understands it, but he still has some difficulties reading, writing, and stuff because he will hear it at the house, and then when he leave the house, it's gone. And
That's
the
how it
only
is
people,
with me.
yeah, the only people I see that are doing the best are Hispanics, especially Mexicans. They make sure their kids speak Spanish. They cling to that identity and they're speaking only Spanish in the house. But yes, the kid is speaking English outside. So that to them, that's a given. He's going to speak English without even an accent, right? And then at the house with his family, all the activities, they're very strong on family culture and traditions like us. So they get to be bilingual, which is amazing. Okay, so you were teaching and then you said you did some football, like American football
Yeah.
and MMA. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, like MMA, like I was walking in, I saw a Brazilian jiu-jitsu spot, so I ended up signing up. And you know, if it wasn't for that, I probably would have been like kind of bored because once, like you don't go out every day because when you have a kid, you're working all day, and you're tired. You don't want to go back out. So basically, right after teaching, I will go over to the gym, and then from the gym, I will go home. And and yes, living in Japan, you do suffer from some type of boredom, like because sometimes it might get boring. That like again during the rainy season, the rainy season when they're training all day every day, you're not going out because in Japan the nightlife is basically outside, not like inside. Okay, and now only a lot of Europeans there who lived there, they hated Americans, so they weren't really hanging out with you there. Okay, so training MMA out there was both like it was fun and you got to learn a lot more Japanese because you're speaking with the whole class, which is all Japanese, and then you're hanging out with them after. So I developed a bond with the entire class, and it was fun. I did that for 7 years there.
Wow, how about football?
Football was that was the fun part. Like we would either have flag football tournaments or we would have tackle football. And I played. I was playing for the Nagasaki Seahawks, and I was also playing for the Sasebo Titans. And even though a game was like once every 3 weeks, but it was still fun. It was fun like to play. And yeah, if you don't find something to do there, you're going to get bored. You are going to get bored. I mean, some people might take the anime route, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I mean, there's a if you are an anime fan, yeah, you will have fun out there. But I wasn't into anime. I was into sports. So that was my fun time was doing sports.
I understand. I understand. So, being to them an American, but you're also Palestinian, and they have probably animosity towards America because of the past. How was
I
that?
get
Did they
that.
understand that you're Palestinian? How did they look at you? Like, how did they treat you as a foreigner?
So I was really hoping for this during the Peace Park during the Peace Park event, the bomb anniversary. They do it every year. Everybody goes over to Ground Zero and then they say a prayer for the victims. While I was at the Peace Park, I saw one Japanese guy with the Palestinian flag. I also took a picture. I took a picture with him, and on the Japanese flag, it said like in Japanese, "Free Palestine." So I'm talking to him. I'm like, oh, like I'm trying to communicate with him. The guy spoke to me in Arabic. This Japanese guy who spent 20 years in Saudi, spoke to me. He spoke to me in Arabic, and after I saw him, I saw 10 other people with little Palestinian flags. These are the Japanese people. So like it was amazing because I didn't know if they knew about Palestine. Like, and then he pointed at this monument that was at the Peace Park, a gift from Yasser Arafat. It was a gift for them. It's like all these monuments there, like a gift from Cuba, a gift from Colombia, a gift from Italy, and you saw a gift from Palestine. Then when I started doing research, Japan actually sent so much money. They sent book bags, they sent books to Palestine, to the children of Gaza. Also, they had a Palestine Japanese kite like event where the children in Gaza and the children in Japan on the same day, they they sent out kites, and every kite had the Palestinian flag with the Japanese rising sun symbol on it. If you Google it, Chozi, you will see. Look at the Japan Palestine kites, and you will see the children raising them.
That's awesome. I had no idea. So this was also in the past, like not
Yeah,
recent?
not recent.
Wow. So they had a stance that is pro-Palestine.
Oh, they've been had a stance on Palestine for the longest. Abi Abi Senzu, before he was assassinated, he was a huge Palestine supporter, a big Palestine supporter. The new prime minister they have now is not recognizing Palestine for the first time in years. Japan was always the first one to recognize a Palestinian state. Always.
Legends say that there was this character in Japan, and this character was a scary character, and he was kind of like red, and he had a cube on his forehead, and he had a big nose. And when you when you look at that character and the caricature of specific group of people, I think those people who have been to Japan has not have been kicked out of there before. Do you know anything about that character?
No, I don't. That's the first time I'm hearing about that character.
Yeah, it's
But
something you probably need to look into because when you go down the rabbit hole, you'll find the rabbit without the letter T at the end.
ooh,
Yeah.
okay.
So something must have happened in Japan when it comes to that.
Let me tell you, like me living in Japan, I would tell you that Japan is oppressed. They are living under the American boot. And to all the Japanese people that are watching, this is not a direct attack towards you when I say that. I'm explaining what like I see. Okay, what the media doesn't show you is that every day Japanese residents are protesting against the Americans. Why? America wants to keep expanding their military bases. All right, and when they expand the military bases, they are stealing land from the Japanese residents, And the Japanese residents, what they love doing is farming. So when they expand the military bases, they are taking more and more of these Japanese farming lands. So they constantly protesting against them. Okay, so Japan gives America the opportunity to expand the military bases, and America does one thing, what one thing in return: protect Japan from China, from an attack from China, an attack from Korea. That's why Japan doesn't have a military; they just have a self defense. They don't have a military. They because they lost the war and they agreed to not have a military. They can only have a self defense, and America has to be stationed in Japan. So basically, America's military is Japan's Japan's military. All right, and Japanese residents are constantly protesting because the Americans out there, they don't respect the Japanese culture. They don't respect the backyard. There are many cases where American military men gang raped some young girls in Japan. Or this one lady that was in the Navy, she drove on the wrong side of the road when she was drunk, and she ended up killing a family. You don't hear this in the media, but when I was living in Japan, every day was a new story. Like they did a country manhunt for this one guy that was in the Navy because he murdered someone. So they did a country manhunt for him. They ended up catching him. All right, so then they gave the military a curfew. You have to be home by 9 o'clock. You can't drink. And of course, these military men they were breaking the rules. This is why when you go to Japan, Japan has such animosity towards the Americans, but love the Europeans. They love the Australians. They love the Filipinos because they go to their country and they respect the culture. They respect the people. And then you look at the Americans. They want to jump this guy. They want to molest this girl. They want to sexually harass this person. They want to drive on the wrong side drunk. They want to get drunk and stupid and break store windows. We don't see that here because they're never going to talk about it. But when you go to Japan, you see it. And Japan is oppressed. They're living an oppressed life under the American boot.
Wow, I can draw so many parallels between Japan, Palestine, and America, Israel. They're stealing farming land,
Yes.
which is what that entity is doing to Palestinian land. Living under their boot, we have to deal with their currency. We have to be around them, even though we don't want to, but they control everything. And there's the animosity of the occupier, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't know this about Japan with America. I know there's some animosity. I just didn't know that there's that much presence of American military over there. That's
Oh
news to
yeah.
me.
Just look at Okinawa. Okinawa is this beautiful tropical island that belongs to Japan. It's a beautiful beach, resort, all that. It's overrun with Air Force bases. Now, when you go to Sasebo, it's packed with the Navy bases. Like they're everywhere. They're everywhere here. And yeah, they're training the Japanese military, but at the same time, they keep expanding and expanding till Japan really they're losing more and more land. Abe Senju, again, was a pro-Palestinian guy. And when he was out of office, he started speaking against this. He started speaking against it, and people were actually listening to him. And then during some like event where like he was supposed to talk at, somebody shot him with a 3D printed gun.
Wow, 3D printed gun.
Yeah, because the crime law in Japan is so low, like it's impossible to get a gun there. The guy actually killed him with a 3D printed gun.
So you're not allowed to carry in Japan or own a gun.
Oh no, the crime rate in Japan is so low. I mean, it is so low. It's so low that I was watching the news and the crime they had was a guy walking out of a walking out of a convenience store with a bento box, and a bento box is like a lunch box. That was their crime. Oh, we're looking for this guy who walked out of a convenience store with a lunchbox. That's their crime. And there was a roadkill of a cat, and they put the tape around right around the cat. They put a sheet on top of a cat because the crime rate is so low. The cops are actually bored, so they treat anything as if it's something big.
So it's a safe place to walk at night as a woman,
Oh, very safe, very safe.
and compared to Brooklyn.
Brooklyn shit, bro. Listen, if the people's not robbing you, the rats are. Okay? Either way, bro, you're getting hit from any corner. It could be the rats, it could be a homeless people, it could be random crackheads. Or now we have raccoons and possums, so yeah.
So okay, you lived there for almost a decade in Japan, right?
Yeah.
What made you want to go back to the US? And after 10 years in Japan, did you have a minor culture shock coming back to the United States?
You know, it was the feeling of not being able to just wake up and be like and call up your brother, be like, yo man, I'm gonna go to your crib and hang out. Meet me here. Like, you miss your family. You miss them so much. Like, I was watching them on Facebook, on like Instagram with the family events. Like, I miss so many family events. Okay, so I gave my daughter's mother the option. I was like, why don't we move? We move to America. She said, no, I don't want to leave my mother. Her mother being like, my mother-in-law at the time. So I'm like, listen, I can't stay here. I was like, I'm missing my family. I want to be with my family also, you know? And she was like, well, I can't leave. So I was like, all right, so the best thing for us to do, get a divorce. So we got divorced, but I'm still in my daughter's life. I FaceTime with her. I send her gifts. Before this podcast, I was on call with her, and she was showing me the sneakers that I sent her, how she loved them. So we still have a bond because of my daughter. So it's not like we got the divorce and that's it, hood, and that's it. No, it's not like that.
Mm. So you think if she was able to come with you to the US, your life would have been different today?
Um, yes and no. Yes and no. Like, I mean, I love my wife now. My wife now is amazing. Like, she pushed me to finish school. She pushed me to be a better person. Yeah, I was a good man, but my wife now pushed me to be even better. When I thought, like, I was like, you know what, I'm in my 40s. That's it. Like, this is time for me. No, she was like, no, there's still a lot more in you. You're gonna go finish school, and you're going to exceed even more. There's no limit. Keep going. And alhamdulillah, I listened to her, and I just graduated as an as an aeronautical engineer, basically an aircraft tech. So finding the right person will push you even further, will push you until you thought you hit a limit. No, you're breaking that wall down with the sledgehammer, and you're seeing that no, there's more to go. There's no limit.
Wow, wow. Where is your wife from and how did you meet?
She's Egyptian, and we met on a Muslim dating app. Okay,
Which one?
Salam's when it was called Minder. Salam's app
Oh,
when it was called Minder, and before Salam's goes in, before they sold their dating app to a freaking, yeah, they basically shit on everyone. But when it was called Minder, my wife and I, we like, we swiped right, but we never really chatted. And then I deleted that app, and then I was like, you know what? Let me try the app one more time. So I made a whole new account, and again, we saw each other and we swiped right. So I was like, you know what? Let's just chat on it. So we chatted and we had a first date. Not It wasn't a date, but it was more like a coffee just to talk to each other. And alhamdulillah, we like hit it off. And 5 years later, we're married.
Wow, congrats. That's awesome, bro.
Thank you.
That's awesome. I'm glad you found someone who pushes you and wants you to be a better version of yourself, man.
Yes.
That's hard to
You know
find
what? You know what
nowadays.
they say. You know what they say. Like you marry someone who resembles your mom, not by looks, but by the attitude. Like she kind of does. Like she kind of does. Like my mother. Let me tell you, my mother had the stronghold on me. Like I think everyone could say that they were a lot more scared of their mother than their father. Like I had a dream. I told my mother to shut up. I woke up. I woke up the next day, bro, and I was apologizing in tears because I was scared. All right. So my wife reminds me of my mom in a way where she pushes you. She pushes you. Like, no, you're gonna do it this way. Go do it that way. Trust me, you're going to thank me. And yes, I thank her. Every time I see my diploma, every time I see my degree, I'm like, I dedicate this to my wife also for pushing me to that limit.
That's awesome, man. Is that what she does? Those clothes behind you, the dresses and the
Yes,
mannequins?
that's her. She was a fashion designer. She graduated from a FIT. She was a designer for Ralph Lauren for many years. She also designed for Timberland. She designed for J Lo when J Lo had her brand. Now my wife is in school getting her masters in PA. So she's an example. Like she graduated from FIT. She got her own brand. Alhamdulillah, she has her own store. But she was like, you know what? This is not where I want to stop at. So she applied for St. John's. Now she's getting her master's.
Wow, man. That is beautiful, bro. Education never ends, man.
And
You
it never
know?
does. It never does.
Yeah, even in every day, if you're not learning something new, then you might as well just cut the cord and end it, you know?
Yeah, basically. And honestly, if I listened to my parents when like I was younger, because when we're younger, we don't really listen. We just want to have fun. My parents always told me, Yazied, go finish school. Go go finish school. My father always said, Yazied, work now. Then you could play later. But if you continue to play now, you're gonna work later. You're gonna be like 60 something years old working at a grocery store. You didn't have enough. Now you can't even retire. That's gonna be the rest of your life now. I wish I listened to them when I was younger, but I wanted to have fun. I wanted to play manhunt. I wanted to play friggin' on the jungle gym, free air tag. I wanted to play football. I wanted to play basketball. I wanted to hang out on the park bench, and when I see my mother, go and hide. Basically, like, like,
Yama's coming. Yama's coming.
yo, Yama is here.
Oh man. All right, let's switch gears here. Tell me a little bit
Yeah.
about All right, let's switch gears. Let's Gaza, what happened? What was your thoughts? And then what's been happening in New York with protests because there's a lot of Zionists in New York. So tell me a little bit about Gaza and New York. What did you notice? What do you think?
Well, I say Gaza needs to be free. We all agree that Gaza needs to be free. Gaza needs to live their own, needs to have control of their own water, their own electricity, needs to have an airport, they need to be a people. Okay, we've been living under oppressed. I'm sorry, they've been living under oppressed, under like apartheid military occupation since 1948. Okay. October 7th happened because of the years and years of brutality, the years and years of mistreatment, the inhumane acts that the Israeli government were doing towards the people. So when people say, "Oh, started on October 7th," no, it did not. October 7th was a result of what been happening for 80 years. We just got tired of it. I keep telling people, if you have a lion at the corner, and you keep hitting this lion with the stick, and this lion is roaring for help, no one is paying attention to the lion's cries, then the lion says, "You know what? I've had enough. I'm going to attack." Now the lion attacks the person that was hitting him. Now everyone looks at the lion as some vicious animal that needs to get taken down. The lion is Gaza. The man with the stick, that's the Israeli government. Okay, don't cry for the animal shelter. Don't cry for animal control after you've been beating on the animal for so long, and the animal finally has enough of it and decides to attack you.
Yeah, I mean, that's how they see us, though. They see us as animals. You know what I mean?
Let us see us as animals. I Let us see us as animals. I see us as lions. Is a lion an animal? Yeah, yeah. So if you want to call us animals, call us by the right animal, lions.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, like, they say we're Amalek, we're cattle, we're goyim. We're not supposed to be even treated like a million Palestinians is not worth a Jewish fingernail. That's what they say, you know?
It's funny because that's exactly what Hitler said like about them.
Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it? That the same people that went through a Holocaust is committing one in Gaza.
Yeah. So, I mean, is it like ironic? Is it ironic? I mean, think about it. They got kicked out of 109 countries, right? Okay. Now, if your son gets kicked out of 109 schools, when are you going to blame your son?
There's no accountability.
Yeah, like if are you going to continue to blame the school, or are you going to blame your son? Like, why you keep getting kicked out of all of these schools?
Well, if you're Jewish, you got to blame the schools. Otherwise, the schools are anti Semitic.
Exactly. Exactly. They You can't blame them for anything. Anything. Nothing is their fault. Nothing is ever their fault.
No, no, they're the only victims of the world, you know?
Yeah, yeah. There's no such thing of other victims. Like, oh, slavery. Get over slavery. Slavery ended years ago. But let's continue to push the Holocaust down our children's throats every year.
Yeah, yeah, and I have my own point of view about World War One and World War Two and the Holocaust, but they want to keep milking that cow, which think the milk is running out of that cow. If we've been noticing that in the United States, you've been seeing a shift in New York.
Uh, uh, sh- I mean, a lot more people are waking up now, and I'm happy that Mamdani won because Mamdani is on that young level. He's only 35, so he's at that young level. He's at the eye level of everyone here in New York. We got tired of all these older people that want to come in like Cuomo and Eric Eric Adams, who are nothing but Israeli paid prostitutes, Israeli paid puppets. We got tired of seeing the same officials coming in over and over. That's why when Mamdani won, they knew their candle just went out. That's it.
Yeah, but see, like I question everything, right? I'm in Georgia. I'm not in New York, so it doesn't matter to me as far as my well-being. But what I see in New York and America overall is two wings on the same dragon, right? Left wing, right wing, same bird with the same beak. And they both are Zionists. They both serve the same master, which is not God Almighty. So when Mamdani wins or Biden or Trump or this or that, I think they're still trying to sell us the two-party system. And I do not want to buy into it because they're both corrupt. You don't know who's funding these people. You don't know if they're friends behind closed doors. They might say one thing, do another. So I always don't take people for what they say, but watch their actions, right?
You're right. You're right. See, what I like about Mamdani, when he was talking, he addressed every community. Okay, he wasn't prioritizing one specific community there. All right, and when he said that he's not going to visit Israel, that's when we all loved him. And so far, he has not made a planned trip there. So far, he's keeping his word. He said, I'm not going to visit Israel. I'm going to stay here in New York and address the people. Because when you're mayor of New York, that means you are mayor of New York. Not like when Eric Adams came out with that video when he was in front of the wall saying, I served you as the mayor of New York City for 4 years. He was talking to the people in Israel.
And as I finish, I wanted to come back here to Israel and let you know that I serve you as the mayor, but I want to continue to have the title that's more important to me than anything. I'm your brother. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
He said to the people in Israel, right in front of that wall, I served you as the mayor of New York.
Yeah, that is treason. That's treason.
That is treason. That's treason. But I have one thing. If Eric Adams does see this, hey, yo, Eric, now that you're not mayor anymore, where are you going to get the money for all those call girls now?
What do you think is up with that wall?
I don't know, but did you see the video I made of
Yeah,
that wall?
yeah, making love.
You make it look like it's magic. Oh, yeah. 'Cause I see nobody but you. I'm never confused. Hey, I'm so used to being used. So I love when you call unexpected. 'Cause I
Yo, that wall has more jizz on it than a hooker in Vegas. Seriously. Like so many like oh my god. If you swipe that wall with Q-tips, how much saliva is on that wall?
Oh man, I feel bad
Yeah,
for the guy
and
that.
but I'm sorry, but if you do check the saliva, you will see Jewish DNA, American DNA from non-Jewish backgrounds. Like
Yeah, yeah.
that's what you'll see.
I feel bad for the Palestinian guy that probably cleans the wall at the end of the day, picking up all these prayers and putting them in the trash bin. Because that's what happens every day, because somebody has to clean it and they're not going to clean it. So comes a Palestinian guy that lives in the occupied Palestine and has to pick all
Oh
these
my god.
papers. And here goes all their prayers in a trash bin. And hopefully he
This
pisses on on those papers.
that wall is ridiculous. You see, and that's another thing. Like, let me ask you. We have the Pope that goes there. We have all of these Christian people who worship God that go there and say, "Oh, you know, we love Jesus." When the land where Jesus was born, they go, they kiss that wall and this and that. How many rabbis have you seen that walked into a church and kiss a picture of Jesus?
None, because they hate Jesus.
Exactly. So why are these so-called, see, I call them European Christians. I don't call them Christians. I call them European Christians because, in my opinion, they follow the false representation of Christianity, the European version. You follow the real version, the version where Christian, the version where Jesus said, "Love thy neighbor, respect thy neighbor, treat thy neighbor as if you want to be treated yourself." You follow the real version of Christianity that started in Palestine. They followed the European version. They followed the version where they were forcing slaves to worship the white man, and they said Jesus was white. That's who you have to worship. And hundreds of years later, they're still following that same slave mentality.
Yeah, it's a supremacy thing that happened in the past, and the Reformation was enslaved with racism, right?
Yeah.
But I see a lot of Christians today going back to Christ, turning their back on the Zionist state, calling what's happening in Gaza genocide. So I see a lot of the majority of Christians I know here that I never thought will wake up are actually waking up. And it's crazy how we're coming together, like left, right, Muslim, Christian, whatever. They're coming together and they're like, hold on a minute. There's a group of people that have been dividing us. There's a group of people who's been bombing the Middle East to make the people living there have to go elsewhere. And then the same group of peoples are opening borders to let those people in to infiltrate Europe and America. And then Europe lose its flavor, its culture, its whiteness, all that stuff. And I'm like, well, the people have to go somewhere, right? And they're like, why don't they go to other Arab countries? I was like, because you're bombing the other Arab countries. So all they can go is east to Asia or west to Europe,
Yes.
you know?
And let me tell you, the biggest, how do you gain control of America? How do you gain control of Europe? By manipulating the Christian minds, because that's that nation. Basically, the biggest religion in America and in Europe is Christianity. Okay, and what's their biggest fear? Christians and Muslims coming together. Because if they come together, you're not gonna have that power. You're not going to have that power, and that's why we have Jake Lang, a Zionist cosplaying as a Christian, leading these white Christians into Dearborn just to get chased out by a bunch of Muslims. All right, Jake Lang, first of all, is not Christian. He's Jewish. The guy is Jewish. He's cosplaying as a Christian, starting this so-called civil war between Muslims and Christians. And I just find it like when are you going to wake up and realize that's their biggest plan? Get the Christians and Muslims to go against each other, while the Zios sit back and watch us kill each other. Like, yep, our plan is working. Soon they're going to be too weak, and that's when we take over.
I mean, that's their plan because there are rabbis that are saying that. They said if the sons of Edom, because that's what they call the Christians, Esau, right, the brother of Jacob. So they're like, if the Edomites and the Ishmaelites, because they call the Muslims Ishmaelites,
this danger in the world is if Esav and Yishmael ever came together, if they ever united. Says the Gemara, if Edom and Yishmael ever united, they would destroy the world. You can never mix Cain and Hevel together. And that's why we wish both of these ummahs in their war against each other, bracha v'hatzlacha. My message to both of them is we wish both of them tremendous hatzlacha. They should wipe each other out. No, none of them should be saying. Both sides should mamish be matzliach as much as possible. We wish both sides tremendous hatzlacha in their avodah of wiping out the other party.
If they come together, that will be the nightmare for the Jews. That's what they say. They don't even say Zionists. They say the Jews because they believe they're the Jacobites. They're the Jews, even though they're not the real Jews. But we already know that. They're Ashkenaz. They have no connection to the land. They're 80% of Jews around the world are not really Jews. They call themselves Jews. Now, is there real Jews? Yes, there is. Are there real Jews that are following the Old Testament, the Torah? Yes, but they're a small, small number. So this is where things get blurry. How are we going to differentiate between a Zionist Jew and a regular Jew in today's world?
The Zionists are just full of hate.
But how can we differentiate Judaism and Zionism? Because they're so like intertwined.
Yeah, I mean, you can't, because, like I said before, like, at the end of the day, either one of them are not going to choose you over their kind. Okay, but the thing is, there are amazing Jewish people that I've met, that protested with us. There was this one lady that I saw at Washington Square Park, and she was drawing the faces of the martyrs from Gaza on the floor, on the boxes. I even made a video with her. She was Jewish, right? But she was extremely pro-Palestine. And we have other Jewish people that I've met during the protests, all right? Yeah, they're pro-Palestine. They want a two state. But are they willing to sacrifice themselves to free up Palestine? No. There's always a line. There's always a line. Now, when you go to a Palestinian Christian or Palestinian Muslim that are in America, are they willing to sacrifice their life for free Palestine? Yes. That's the difference. That is the difference. Like, and we have the white Christians here who will not look at you as a real Christian because you're not white. In their eyes, Jesus, peace be upon him, was born in Columbus, Ohio, on a grassy field, and he went to a public school. And he had this beautiful long hair with his crystal blue eyes, and he was performing miracles in Idaho, and he was taking trips along the 50 states. Okay, they don't want that fact that Jesus probably looked like you, black hair, brown, who didn't speak a word of English, but yet when people tell me there's no Allah, there's only God, I'm like, all right, so there's no God, there's only God. I get it. It's like me telling a Spanish person, there's no Dios, there's only God. So basically, there's no God, there's only God. Like, it gets to a point where their ignorance becomes darkness. Like, it becomes extreme. Like, no ignorance, no darkness like ignorance. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I created a reel a while back on Instagram, and I brought a Bible, an Injil, and a Quran. And I opened the first page, and I show the word Allah on the Bible, on Allah on the Quran in Arabic. And I thought, I was like, guys, the word means God.
Yes.
That's what it means. I was like, we might have our differences, about different things. That's fine. We don't have to kill each other. We'll find out when Jesus comes back,
Yes.
And I'm like, I'll follow Jesus. You can follow Muhammad. That's fine.
Yes.
And if the real Jews want to follow Moses, that's fine.
Go ahead. Like, I'm not telling you not to.
Yeah, it's like we say in Arabic, كل واحد على دينه الله يعينه, which means based on your religion, do as you are told. I can tell you about Jesus. I can try to plant the seed. I can tell you what it says about him in my book. But that's it. I don't believe in converting people. I don't believe in pushing your religion on others because religion is divisive.
Yes.
It's not about religion. It's about the message, And talking about your shirt with the haram police, I hate people that are judgmental.
Like when people say what's happening in Gaza is a religious war, it's nowhere near a religious war. It's not a religious war. Like, I don't see people in Palestine that are trying to convert the Christians there, and I don't see the Christians trying to convert the Muslims there. You had that Catholic Church that's been there for 1,000 years. under Muslim rule. It was not touched. 78 years of under Israeli rule, that church gets blown up.
They're not even trying to convert us to Judaism.
No one's trying to convert anyone. It's just all this is about land grab. It's about land grab. And another thing I want to say is, when I tell people that I'm Muslim, or he's a Muslim, oh, that's bad, that's bad, that's bad. They're forgetting that Muslim, the word Muslim, is not an Arabic word. It's an Aramaic word. I don't know if you knew that, but Muslim is an Aramaic word. And the Aramaic word Muslim means servant of God. It just means servant of God. It doesn't mean that you're one type of religious person. No, Muslim is an Aramaic word that just means servant of God. So when we say that Moses was a Muslim or Jesus was a Muslim, we're only calling them servants of God, which is, they were servants of God. So when I say that, you're a Muslim, I'm not trying to say that you follow Islam. No, I'm just saying that you're a servant of God.
Yeah, they don't understand the meaning. Palestinians, before Arabic became the language there, we spoke Aramaic. And that was Jesus' language. I wish I can speak it. And when I hear it, it's very similar to Arabic, very similar. So I hear Aramaic, and then they're like, now we speak Arabic, and then they call us Arabs. But when you really think about it, if we do our DNA, we're maybe 10-15% Arab, like Saudi Arabia or Yemen. And the rest is from the land, which means we were probably the Jews that lived there, that became Christian, that became Muslim.
Exactly. We just got Arabized.
We got Arabized, bro.
The same thing with Egypt. Egypt got Arabized. I mean, are they Arab? Are they Arably culture? Yeah, they have the Arab culture, but they're not considered Arabs. They're Northern Africans who just got Arabized, who just speak Arabic. But are they Arab? No. Okay, we might consider ourselves Arab. Like, I'm so confused between Asian Arab, like, like, really. But we got Arabized, okay? And when I debate with these Ashkenazis, I call them Ashkenazis, or like Ashkenazis, whatever you want to call them, okay? I always tell them, okay, you've been there for 3,000 years. Can you show me proof, any cultural proof that you've been there for 3,000 years? They'll say, oh, our language. Like, okay, but do you have any type of traditional garments? Any type of traditional foods from 3,000 years ago? Any type of cultural dances? Anything like that that will show me that your people, Ashkenazis, been there for 3,000 years. They don't have any. Ashkenazis, they have the European culture. The Mizrahis, they have the Yemeni culture. They have the Iraqi culture. They have the Moroccan culture. The Sephardic Jews, they have the Spaniard culture. Then if you look at the Russian Jews, I forgot what they called. But anyway, they have the Russian culture, but they have no culture showing that they've been on that land for 3,000 years. No culture. But if you look at the Palestine, Jordan, Lebanon, Syria, Iraq, we have culture of being there for so many thousands and thousands of years. We have Canaan culture. We have the land of Canaan culture. Then when they tell me, oh, what culture? The Debka, the Tatris, people out there, I'm about to blow your mind right now. There are 5 tribes of Canaan. And surprisingly, there are still 5 countries that follow the Canaan culture. Again, Iraq, Lebanon, Jordan, Palestine, and Syria. Okay, and all 5 of those countries have their own version of a tatris. The same way in the land of Canaan, those 5 tribes, they have 5 different colorful garments that they used to wear. How they used to tell each tribe apart. And then we have the Dubka, which started as a pagan ritual from the land of Canaan, where they used to hold hands in a circle, stomp the ground to keep the evil spirits away from their crops. Thousands of years passed, we turned it into a dance. So the Dubka and the Tatris all started on the land of Canaan. And thousands and thousands and thousands of years, it's still with us. Why? Because we've been there since the land of Canaan. We have evidence that we've been there for thousands of years. What are their culture to prove that they've been there for 3,000 years?
I don't think they have anything that can prove that. Even their language was made up in 1800s.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Like when we
you
call
know,
it a Semitic language, that's a lie, because modern day spoken Hebrew that is spoken in Israel, they can't pronounce the actual letters. They can't say hummus, they say hummus. They
hummus.
can't say Arabi, they say Arabi. And they can't say the B, they say V, Aravi, Aravi. And they can't say the R, so they say Ra, like French. And modern Hebrew is stolen from Aramaic, Arabic, infused with Yiddish and Latin,
Yeah,
and maybe Polish. So that's modern day Hebrew.
Hebrew. Hebrew.
Hebrew.
And the funny thing is,
Hamas!
how can it be Palestine when there's no P? P like in the Arabic language. I'm like, well, I'm like, well, yeah, Ibn Haram. There's no P because we say it as Palestine. We don't say Palestine. You say Palestine. You say Palestine. We say Palestine.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's close this with one last thing. What do you think, you personally, your opinion, based on what's happening in the United States with the Zionist entity connection? What do you think the future of America is, and what do you think the future of the Zionist state is, based on everything going on?
America is doomed. I'll tell you right now. Why? Listen, they already let the wolves in. They already let the wolves into the hen house, and one by one, they're getting rid of every hen. Okay, they're paying off these politicians. They're paying them off. They're blackmailing them. Okay, so basically, America, Israel has America by the throat, and they're squeezing it tighter and tighter. Okay, America went from being this strong, respected, scared to talk about country to being on every other country's comedy channel. See, while like America was getting their throats strangled by Israel, China, Russia was getting stronger because they knew better not to let a foreign lobby in here. Don't let a foreign lobby come into our country and take control. America allowed that to happen. America is going to pay the price. Maybe not 5 years, not 10 years, not 20 years, but sometime down the line, America is going to be doomed. And when they finally wake up and realize, it's going to be late. It's going to be too late. You already got overrun. You already got conquered. While you're busy focusing, thinking that Muslims are wanted to take over your country, they're already conquering it little by little. You're just focused on the wrong people.
Do you think that America will pull the plug on that Zionist state?
It's going to be too late. By like the time they want to pull the plug, it's going to be too late. They have so much blackmail on them. It's ridiculous. Hello, the files.
Yeah, Epstein files, man.
Yeah, they already got America by the neck.
I see light at the end of the tunnel. It depends which tunnel, not the New York tunnels, but you know what I mean. Or the Gaza
You
tunnel.
mean not the Brooklyn tunnels when where the police raided and found like 50 rabbis there with bloody mattresses?
Yeah. Well, it's their practice, man. That's what these people do, you know?
I'm just saying, America needs to wake up now before it's too late. Seriously.
Yeah,
I mean,
man, I
because
don't
I
want
love this country. I
me
love
too.
this country, man. I love everything about it. I just don't like the fact that our government are so easily bought. This was so easily conquered by a foreign lobby. Like, wake up, man. Be like China. Be like Russia. Like they're their own people. Their tax money is spent on their own people.
Yeah, I agree, man. I mean, this country, I've been in it for 24 years and it gave me the freedom that I didn't have back home. It didn't give me support, but it gave me freedom. And I was able to do stuff that I was not able to do back home, you know, build myself, be viewed as a human being, not being stopped every 5 minutes by a soldier frisking me and all that. Yes, America's not perfect, but it's a place where people actually can coexist. As long as we respect each other and respect the people, you know, of different faith, different ethnic backgrounds, different races. Nobody's above nobody. Nobody's more superior. Everybody needs to be represented. Everybody, including white people, because I feel like there is a war against the white race now. And I'm like, I'm not for it either. I think everybody should be who they are. You know what I mean? I have no problems with nobody. But I hope there's something better coming, man, because these are dark times.
It really is, man. And alhamdulillah, I could go to Egypt. I could go to Tokyo if something happens. I could either go to Tokyo, Egypt, like Allah Sa'ad al I'm out. Peace out.
Yeah. Well, tell Yazid, tell people where they can find you.
Well, you can find me on TikTok as Abu Duz, or you can find me on Instagram as official underscore Abu Duz, or you could just catch me outside. Nah, I'm joking. I'm like,
Yeah. Cash me outside. How about that? Tell
nah,
people,
but
tell people what is Abotoz means.
well, Abu means father of, and Duz, there's no like explanation for it. Is how you use it. Like Duz could be like Duz. So you want something for like the store? Does. Is there anything in the refrigerator? Does. Like it's how you say it. It's like not caring, not giving a shit. You don't care. Fuck off. F you. Depending how you use it. So basically, I'm the father of not giving a fuck. That's what basically my hat means. I don't care. I say what I want. I do what I want. And if I hurt your feelings, go drink a glass of water. Go cry in the corner. Because I don't care.
Or go kiss the wall.
Yeah. This is my novel.
Ashes from the olive tree.
Yes. This is my novel. And I'm surprised I didn't even tell you about it because I'm sorry.
No, no. Tell me a little bit about it.
All right. This is a story about two young brothers who cling to one another. Like let me just read like the background. In the heart of Palestine, two young brothers cling to one another as war and loss consume their world. When settlers burn their home, they are thrust into a life shaped by grief, loyalty, and a pull of revenge. From the ashes of devastation grows a story of a family resilience and resistance. Ashes from the olive tree is a haunting tale of two brothers. Basically, settlers they burned burned their home with their parents in it. So now they just have each other. This story tells how they survive in a refugee camp, how food is not coming in, there's no aid coming in. So the older brother has to act as an older brother, as a father, a protector, and he basically helps his brother by any means necessary. And every copy sold gets a portion of it gets donated to Muslim Around the World Project. It's a trusted organization that helps Muslims in need. And this organization, they built schools, hospitals, they gave medical supplies, medication, clothes to Muslims in need. So this is my debut novel, and alhamdulillah, so far I sold 75.
Wow, that's amazing, man. I didn't know you had a novel.
Yeah.
I'll put a link where people can get it too, man.
Yeah, I mean the link is in my bio, and it's my first novel, so it's not thick, but I put my heart into this, and so far, whoever bought the novel, they replied to me saying how much they really liked it. The only problem was it was a short read. That's the only problem that they said. So basically, when people talk about the Hamas, when they say how Palestinians, they train their children to become Hamas, to become Jew haters, this story shows you how the Israeli government can turn a child into a resistance fighter, because that child grows up seeing his family get murdered, seeing the mistreatment. So all he knows in his heart as he's growing is hate, revenge. So basically, this is what this story is. When the olive tree burns, the ashes from the olive tree grows within a child. When the fire consumes them, that's the olive tree. So basically, they are the olive tree. The fire consumes them. And what happens when the olive tree is burned? Their ashes are filled with revenge.
Well, I hope this cycle can be broken, because that is not a way to live, especially for the people stuck in Gaza.
No.
It was my pleasure having you, bro. Thanks for sharing with us and the audience.
Thank you.
Everything about your story, going to Japan, being raised in Brooklyn, your heart for Palestine,
Yep.
and your love for coexistence, bro. I really appreciate it.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Free Palestine, free Sudan, free Somalia, free Ethiopia, free Congo, free Iraq, free Syria, free Lebanon, free Yemen, free every person around the world that is living under oppression, living under occupation. Just because you think no one is listening to your cries, people are listening. We are here, and we are trying to do our best. Yes, I know it's limited, but we hear you. Don't think we don't hear you.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Yazied, for sharing this.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man. I appreciate you.
Habibi, God bless you, brother. We'll be in touch, all right?
God bless you too, brother. Always.
Yalla, salam.
Salam.
All right, guys. You heard it from Abu Tuz, Yazied. Check out his novel. I'll put the link under this video in the description so you can check it out. We need to give people in Gaza a chance to live. We can't just have them repeat the same cycle. You know, a kid that is born with no family, no school, no education, and being oppressed and seeing his father being killed, his mother raped, his family, neighbors, teachers, doctors, everybody gone. There is only one place that this kid is heading to, and it's not a good place. And I don't want to see children do that and become the enemy of another people because that person's the enemy of them and they have to revenge and avenge. And we need to end this. Let people in Gaza live and let them be free. Until next time, God bless you, and always, always, Christ is King, and free Palestine.